Remember how I said there was a shift in political energies, but that I felt there was a cloak of secrecy over both the parties and what's going on there? Yeah, I think I astral traveled into a Republican meeting last night. Not joking. So I woke up in the middle of the night from what felt like a dream I could hardly remember. And when I can hardly remember my dreams, I can psychically go back into them and go relive, reanimate the dream. And when I did that, I didn't go back into a dream. I was shown a vision. Now, what's interesting about this is it was very incomplete, partial. There were big pieces missing. And that's what told me, oh, cloak of secrecy. I've been able to just lift the tiniest little edge of this cloak. I'm getting just a piece of what's going on. So what I saw, where my energy was, I was in a big room in DC, some sort of meeting room. It wasn't like, the chambers, the House and Senate chambers. It was like a big, a meeting room with a huge table in the middle. And I think this is symbolic more than literal because it was a round, oblong, oval table where it had the entire Republican Party at it. The only person I could actually see was Thomas Bassi. Now remember, he's a Republican and he is on the bipartisan committee that has been fighting to get the Epstein files released. So he knows more than the general Republican Party what's going on with that effort and what they're finding in those releases. Because remember, they are the ones who got they subpoenaed the documents from the Epstein estate, that 23,000 email cache. He's on the committee that got that and that is going through that. So the feeling I got was, it was really the sense of him saying, like, this is bad, guys. This is very, very bad. It felt like he was being the liaison and letting them know what's in there and what's coming and how they're connecting the dots with the intel that they do have. So the whole sense of this meeting is, what are we going to do as a party? Now, again, this is psychic intel. This is psychic intel that I'm reading through a cloak of secrecy. So you take this with a big old grain of salt. But I told you I would share what I got when I got something. This is what I got. Now, what's interesting is that when I opened my TikTok for the first time today, the first video I saw was a two-parter from Heather Cox Richardson, who is a very respected political analyst and pundit. She did a two-parter on what's up with the Republican Party. Perfect. And what she said in that video has really confirmed many things that I've been saying. She started with Marjorie Taylor Greene and what's going on behind her resignation. Now, apparently Greene made this 4-page letter about why she's resigning. I haven't seen it, didn't read it, but it's very much in line with what I've received about her and why I felt that she's waking up. Now, she then tied this into the rumors that are circulating that many Republicans are resigning or walking away. And she said something really interesting that I didn't know. She talked about old Mikey J, which again, perfectly ties into the vision I was getting of him being in his office, door locked, smugly turned away, and the lawmakers are banging at the door, and then they take a battering ram. She says that the word is that Republican congressmen are furious that Mike will not push their amendments, will not push their business to the floor. He won't do anything that his own party want him to do. He's only in the pocket of Trump, only doing what Trump wants him to do. And so these lawmakers are fed up with not just Trump, but Johnson, which you're going to freaking love. Gia just said that. Nevertheless, now something else Richardson said is that there is this sense or a question as to whether or not the Republicans who are defecting are not going to leave politics altogether, but are going to come back at it in some new way, maybe a different party, maybe they're independent. And this struck the strongest chord. Again, cloaked information, didn't get a full sense, but I feel like the Republicans who are going to defect are going to create another party. And this would make total sense, right? I mean, many of them, they don't actually want to leave. They don't want to leave politics. They love their job. They love what they do, but they are getting frustrated with the party. And now with a revelation of how corrupt their president is, and that's exactly what I said in that video, right? Where I was like, the energies have stalled because these people are having an oh shit moment. They're having a come to Jesus moment within themselves. Because if they're going to align themselves with the party and toe the party line, they're hit with an ethical conundrum. Because the revelations are swiftly coming out about how corrupt Trump is. And they've seen it with their own eyes this whole year. And they're like, I'm not going to go down with this guy. I'm not going to go down defending him, which is what I've been saying. The Republicans, the rats jumping ship, they're not going to go on the line for defending him. There will come a point where they will draw a line in the sand and they will say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Now, the reason they hadn't come that far before is because, number one, there was a lot of fear. A lot of fear about retribution, actual threats being made. Remember, there were people saying that they were being followed. They had the pizzas delivered to their house. Like there's so much shady shit that kept them in fear. Well, now, knowing the truth, that is having the dual effect of both breaking that fear because their sense of morality or justice, or even just like, I'm not going to go down for this guy, that is getting louder than their fear, which, by the way, that's a form of awakening, of coming out of the spell you were under and saying, no, I can't do things the old way anymore. I'm doing things differently. Now, in anticipating the comments of people who are going to say, yeah, but I still don't trust him. Yeah, but that's fine. That's your journey. But just remember, that is your journey. That is your trust. And of course, they need to prove that they are trustworthy, but that's not the point. The point is this two-party system, the way politics are right now, is corrupt. Both sides are corrupt. The whole system, it ain't working. So whether these lawmakers decide to leave politics altogether or just leave their party and form a new party, this is a good thing. This is what awakening is. This is how ascension affects our systems, how the systems crumble, but don't completely fall apart and leave us stranded on nothing. This is a good thing. This is growth. This is change. This is, and when you take the awakening into all, because listen, if this was just about the Epstein files and they're like, no, I'm not going down with this guy, I'm doing this other thing. Okay, fine. But they've had to listen to us, their constituents, on the phone and in letters, and they're seeing the protest and they're seeing the blue wave. They know they're not going to get voted back in. Absolutely not. So you can see this as merely a move to cover their ass, and for some of them it might be. But for many more of them, they have been seeing what's happening this year, just like the rest of us. And if they're going to stay in politics, they know they cannot be pro the policies that have gotten everybody else unelected, that caused the blue wave. They can't be this pro-immigration, this bullshit that the Trump administration is doing. They can't be locking the people out of their food stamps. So whatever this party does, whether it's selfishly motivated and they're just, reading which way the wind is blowing, it's going to be a good thing for the people because they are servants of the people. And they know that if they want to stay in politics and if they are having an awakening about what the fuck's going on out there, they're going to need to change. And that is what we've needed all along. So I'm going to be tuning into this much more clearly in my upcoming What's Coming Next event. I do these psychic live group preview events. We get on Zoom. You can sign up at the link in my bio, or you can sign up if you're on YouTube. It's going to be in my caption. So this is all just from what I got from this meeting that I saw, but I'm going to tune in and ask Spirit the bigger picture. What else can we see? What's going on? So if you're interested in that, if you can't attend live, totally fine. You will get the replay.